Tzom Kal to everyone. I can't say happy holiday, right? I can say Gmar Chatzimar tomorrow. I have a word for you today to keep us on trajectory. The word is very simple, the word you know. The word is offering. Offering, not in the sense of offering like putting offering in a tzedakah box or anything like that, but offering in the sense of a sacrifice. An offering to the Lord on his altar. That's the kind of offering that I'm talking about. And my thoughts are dwelling on the offering because everything that we've read from Leviticus today, from the Torah, it's all about offerings and sacrifices. Every time we read a tiny little tidbit, every blessing, it's all about bringing offerings and sacrifices. And why is it so important? I am really tempted to break into teaching right now, but I know that's not my job. My job is to say something inspirational and meditational rather than to break into teaching. So if you want to hear me teach, you have to come back another time. Okay? On October, exactly. But right now, I want to focus our hearts more on what's going on inside of us. That's really what we're here for today. When I was a little kid, I played a lot with other children. I grew up in an apartment building in a big city, and so we didn't have a lot of green space to play, but we did have a nice yard with a sandbox and a few trees, and so that is where our imagination always took us, and that's where we played. And so I played with other kids from our apartment building, and one of the games that we liked to play, being 5 or 6 years old, pirates. We wanted to be pirates. And so one day we decided we're going to bury pirate treasure, just like, every pirate movie and every book, they always burying like a box of coins and treasure. So we got a little box. We had a box of matches, like a matchbox, okay? Those old-fashioned matchboxes that actually come out, And so we needed treasure. We had the box. All we needed was treasure. So we started looking at our pockets and kind of looking for everything. And so somebody had a button, another person had some other little toy or something like that. And what I had in my pocket were some ice cream money. And I did not want to sacrifice that to the communal pirate treasure chest. But once my friends looked at me and they saw what I had in my pocket, they said, "Perfect! That is exactly what the treasure box should have. It should have some money." I said, "Guys, this is my ice cream money. I don't put it in that." Well, they said, "Yes, you have to." So I gave in to the peer pressure. I sacrificed my money. And they put it in a little matchbox, and we actually dug a big hole over there by the sandbox, and then we buried the box. And then we played on. But the idea was that the treasure is supposed to be buried, and next day we get together and we come and bury it, we find it, and we're going to be all excited that we found pirate treasure. So I went home. Didn't sleep that night very well. I kept thinking about my buried treasure and my ice cream money. I didn't like giving it up. Nobody else gave up their ice cream money. So early in the morning, I got up for school. I went out to the schoolyard and I started digging up the treasure. Guess what? It was already gone. One of the kids beat me to it and decided to have my ice cream money. I learned a few lessons that day. But as I think about this funny story from my childhood, I am faced with this realization that throughout our lives, we all make all sorts of sacrifices. For various reasons and in different situations. Sometimes maybe those sacrifices come under peer pressure and compulsion like mine. Others are more willing. Some we come to sort of say through a process, a period of our lives that we have to offer something to God. The ultimate passage from all the passages that we read today from Leviticus, the ultimate passage about the offerings that I can think of that speaks to me the loudest and the clearest is the Akedat Yitzchak, the passage that we meditated upon this morning during the early prayers. It's in Genesis 22. You all know the story. It's all about God coming to Abraham with a test and asking to sacrifice his own son, his only son. Now that's a big test. I do not wish that test upon anyone who's a parent I don't know how I would have reacted if I was told to do something like that. But we know the story, we read it. And what strikes me in that story is that as Abraham is making his way up the hill, his son is asking him a question, where is the sacrifice? Where's the olah? There's different kinds of sacrifices in the Torah, and olah is one of them. Olah is a burnt offering, a sacrifice that you completely obliterate with fire. It goes up in smoke and nothing is left. So he says, where's the olah? He says, don't worry. God will see to his own olah. God will make sure that he has something that is offered to him. So, I think that all of us who stand before God today, we all have something to offer. And I think, like Abraham, many of us are being asked and being tested, perhaps, to offer something. What that is, I have no idea. I have absolutely no insight or expertise on what it is that God is telling you to offer to him. It could be so many different things. It could be our sin. It could be our stubborn will. It could be something good. It could be something that you really, really, really want. It could be something that you think you can't live without. Perhaps it's something that you do not want to let go. I have no idea what kind of test God has in store for you and what is going on in your life right now. I can't presume that much. Perhaps it's something that a lot of times God asks us, it's something that hinders us from full and complete and total devotion to him. So I can't tell you what it is, but I know that in my past, I had to give up all sorts of things. I had to offer things to God, sometimes willingly, sometimes unwillingly. I had to give up dreams. I had to give up resources. I had to give up health, time, sleep, comfort, name it. I had to give that up. Sometimes I had to give up my anger. Other times I had to give up my pain. All sorts of things that I brought and offered up to God throughout my lifetime. And at this point, when God asks, I have learned how to listen. And now it becomes more of an easier exercise in obedience than it was before. But I don't think it's easy because every time God keeps asking for something, yet that may be even harder this time. But you know what I'm going to tell you? Every time when we come before God and whatever it is that he's asking us to offer up to him, whatever that may be, just like in the story of the biting of Isaac, he takes that and he replaces it with something else. Whatever I had to give up, was it good or bad, I don't know. God replaced it with something else. That much I know. So what do we have to offer up to God today? I have no idea. That is a question every one of us has to answer on this holy day. But I do know that offering is how we draw close to God. Giving up is how we come close to our God and our King. And therefore, that is our way of worship. Not to give it up is not an option. Whatever that may be, I don't know. I know that God will take it, He'll replace it with something else. And in the end, I know that you and I will be closer to God. Shalom.